Immediately after asking for more buff frog, that's exactly what I got. This episode is all his perspective of the previous one. We get to see a bit of his life at home with his kids and how much he genuinely enjoys it, but then we get to see exactly how much poverty he's in. He simply doesn't have the means to feed them anymore, so he has to go back to work, and the only work available for a monster is doing evil stuff. He hooks up with one of his old monster friends on a new crew, where they all kind of think he's gone soft because he has kids, and in a way they're right. The entire purpose of this crew is to interrogate some rats to figure out where they're getting Munian corn. It's in this episode that we learn that the Munians are well fed, they have lots and lots of corn. I guess corn is like the end-all be-all food in this world, whereas monsters aren't well fed and don't have any corn. And yet somehow these rats are somehow getting some. It falls to Buff Frog to interrogate the rat, but he can't do it, because whenever he thinks about hurting the rat, he can only see his kids. Having children has changed him, and I would say for the better, but in his society, it is genuinely for the worse. They do, however, eventually discover the supply chain that these rats are using and trace it back to the source, discovering a field of corn right outside of the palace. It's protected by a Munian magic force field with a small green hole in it, and immediately we know where this is going. At this point, the rest of the group has left Buff Frog behind because he has proven to be weak one too many times, while the rest of them attempt to get through the small hole despite the fact that all of them are too large to fit. The king actually sees them and launches a flaming catapult at them, catching them in a torrent of flames. But because Buff Frog has learned how to care, he cares enough to come to their rescue, jumping over the flames through the eye of this fire tornado, snatching them all up and jumping them back out. And you can tell by the end that some of his caring has started to rub off on them. It's possible that the changes going on with this individual character might lead to a bigger change for all monster kind, and that's something that I find very interesting and look forward to seeing should it happen. This episode, just like the previous one, was very good. Lots of great character development here. Again, for a minor character that I wouldn't have really expected a lot of character development from at all. I've heard some things about the network dictating some details of this show when it first started to air, but then eventually the show finding its groove, and that definitely seems to be what is happening here. This show is finding its groove, and it's really great. Bringing in monster characters diversifies the cast, creating all kinds of new story possibilities, and giving us a Munian character who isn't entirely good in Mina Loveberry, and a monster character who isn't entirely bad in Buff Frog is an excellent juxtaposition. This show is almost becoming semi-serialized at this point, in that I have to keep saying that this felt like setup for future events. I'm really starting to understand why so many of you people love this show. I know I've been overly critical of it in the past and said that it's not really my favorite, but it's starting to get up there. The way that these episodes manage to be so self-contained and yet make you think about what might be coming in the future and wonder what that something might be reminds me a lot of Steven Universe. And as I have said before, I do think Steven Universe is the best cartoon currently airing. So any comparison between this show and that one is going to be a good thing, with a few minor exceptions. This is certainly a positive comparison. The structure of these episodes lately has been just impeccable. And I will freely admit that this is the first time since I started doing these reviews that I'm genuinely looking forward to next week's reviews. But as per usual, guys, I'd like to know, what do you think of this episode? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.